Ibiza, summer 20. The waves gently lapped against the side of the boat, the Mediterranean sun reflected on the tanned skin of young people living carefree days. In the midst of that free space, an image that shook the Spanish royal media was captured. Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, spent several days on a luxury yacht, not with her family or royal courtiers, but with a mysterious young man whose identity has never been made public. According to many exclusive sources from the Ibiza yachting world, Leonor was seen appearing since last weekend on the yacht Maribel, anchored near Formentera. With her was a tall, brown-haired young man with a confident but discreet demeanor. Not Joaquin of Elcano, Leonor's long-rumored boyfriend, who has not appeared by her side during this summer vacation, but a face completely unknown to the public. They barely left the ship for the first 3 days, said a crew member. They only had breakfast on deck, the rest of the time they were in their rooms or sitting and talking for a long time in the evening light. Who is the mystery man? The Palacio de la Zarzuela, Spain's royal palace, has not yet made any official statement about the incident. However, social media is spreading rapidly with photos that are said to show Leonor in casual clothes, holding hands with the other man as they both went ashore to buy snacks at a local store. Initial signs suggest that the man is not of noble descent, nor is he accompanied by any royal security. A source close to Spanish diplomacy has revealed that he could be an international student studying in the UK, where Leonor has also recently studied. If this is true, it would be the first time Princess Leonor has been intimately involved with someone outside the royal family since she became an adult. Love in the eyes and silence. Their language, according to those who worked on the ship, didn't need too many words. The two spent time together reading books, listening to Spanish classical music, and sometimes, simply sitting quietly together watching the red sunset offshore. A nearby boatman shared, "I saw them dancing together on the deck, no music, just singing softly to themselves and laughing. It was as if time had stopped." Without an official announcement, the eyes, smiles and quiet time together spoke volumes. It was a rare affection between a princess born into the limelight and a boy, maybe a normal person, with a warm heart. Is the relationship with Joaquin over? Many followers of the Spanish royal family have long believed that Leonor and Joaquin, a close friend who studied at Elcano, had a secretive but enduring romantic relationship. However, since June this year, no photos of the two have been published together. A source from the royal family said, Leonor and Joaquin have chosen to separate amicably. She wants to have more freedom for her youth, especially after months of pressure from the media. If that is true, then this cruise trip is not just a vacation, but also a fresh start for the 20-year-old heart of a person who is shouldering the responsibility of inheriting the throne. Love and destiny. The story between the princess and the stranger, if it is really a love story, reminds many people of royal love affairs that have shaken the world, from Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier, to Meghan and Harry. But this time, people do not see the flash, but the sunshine of Ibiza, the gentle waves and a love of pure, silent beauty. Leonor, with her calm gaze and gentle smile, is stepping out of the mold that a princess is framed in. And who knows, the companion by her side, whether a fleeting love or a long-term destiny, is also a part of the path of maturity that she has chosen for herself. The last light and unknown turns. Late Friday afternoon, the Maribel suddenly turned its bow towards the Santa Eulalia harbor. The sea breeze was still gentle, but in the eyes of those watching from afar, the presence of a black Range Rover, familiar to the royal security forces, made the atmosphere somewhat stagnant. Not long after, Leonor and the strange man stepped ashore, both dressed so simply that no one would recognize them unless they looked closely. However, there were still a few camera flashes in the distance. And once again, Leonor's gaze was disturbing. It was not the panic of a girl who had been discovered, but a calmness, even a bit of pride. She walked slowly, her hand still lightly touching the hand of the person next to her, a small gesture, but not easily overlooked by those accustomed to seeing the cold rituals of the palace. It was no longer the shy little girl who had made her first public speech. Instead, she was a young woman who was crossing the line between duty and emotion, between the image of a princess and the heart of a human being. The father and the distant gaze. In the following days, rumors spread throughout the newspapers. Who was that guy? Was there royal approval? Was this a moment of impulsiveness, or a sign of a long-prepared future? A source close to Queen Letizia whispered, she did not interfere. She understood Leonor, and understood that her first love could be what she needed to find herself. As for King Felipe VI, his father, who was considered strict and traditional, did not react as harshly as the press expected. On the contrary, he was said to have instructed the press to keep quiet and did not demand that Leonor return to the palace immediately. He was young, he loved, he suffered, said a former royal advisor. Perhaps this time, he wants his daughter to be real, if only for a summer. Can love survive? The love of a princess is always a story of questions. Who can she love? Is that person qualified? Can that love overcome the pressure, distance, and strict requirements of royal protocol? The young man, rumored to be a history student at the University of Edinburgh, does not seem to have any ambitions. According to some mutual friends, he is quiet, loves reading, and especially, does not like social media. That raises the question, is it this simplicity that attracts a girl who is too used to a controlled world? Leonor, during that vacation, did not go on social media, did not appear at any official events, did not make any statements. She just disappeared with him in the middle of the sea, as if giving herself a break from everything she represented, the throne, the title, the duties. A summer to remember, or the beginning of a new chapter? As August began, the yacht Maribel returned to the main port and was cleaned up. No one knew where the couple had gone. Some said they had gone to Brittany in France, where there were fewer paparazzi. Others speculated that they had split up, each returning to their own roles. But what people remember is not the destination, but the journey. The journey of a princess who chose to listen to her inner voice. A journey that may not have lasted long, but will remain in the memory, like a single summer, where love does not need a dress or a coat of arms, but only the sea breeze, the sun and two hearts in harmony. Leaked photos, and deliberate silence. As the tabloids began to run suggestive headlines like, Leonor, Princess or Dreamer, or, Who Makes the Heir's Heart Fade, a few blurry photos, mostly taken from a distance with a telephoto lens, were released, further fueling public curiosity. In one, Leonor rests her head on the other's shoulder as they sit on the railing of a yacht, the sea breeze ruffling her long hair, while he places his hand on her back in a gentle, protective manner. There were no kisses caught, no offensive gestures. Everything was discreet, subtle, enough to confuse those who were expecting a scandal. But that's what made the affair all the more effective. It was not noisy, but quiet like old love songs. Something the older generation would find familiar, and the younger generation would find fascinating and admirable. The royal family remained silent. No confirmation, no denial, no warning to the media. This is a departure from the usual style of response. Some royal experts say that this is the strategy of the Zarzuela Palace. Let the public judge for themselves, and give Leonor a private, gray area, during her time away from her duties. The girl standing between two worlds. Born into luxury, Leonor has never really had the right to choose her own path. From a young age, she had to speak in parliament, learn how to walk, how to sit, and how to shake hands. And now, having just turned 20, she is under the public microscope every time she steps out of the palace. But this time, it is clearly different. She is no longer the solemn princess in dark blue, nor is she the stereotypical daughter of the king. Leonor, with her hair tied up high, a simple white shirt and straw sandals, appears like an ordinary girl in the middle of summer, with a newly blossoming love, not yet named.